Within my hardcore world, we have encountered one main issue, and that is collecting an efficient source of black ink, as we have needed it for multiple building materials such as black concrete and black stained glass. Now, it's not hard to get the black ink sack. You usually just have to travel to a riverbed and then go assault a squid.
Bruh.
But I thought, why not go big and make this into a mega build as well as a squid farm? Now, I've wanted to do a chessboard build for quite a while now, so let's not bishop around the bush. Get it? God, I'm lonely. And combine the chessboard build with the squid farm, just so that it's not another boring farm left for dead in a hole somewhere. Now, this whole building process took longer than it did to lose my virginity. Okay, that's a joke, that's a joke. I haven't lost that yet. So come with us on this epic journey where we use crazy TNT flying machines, hit huge milestone marks, experience epic natural vistas, and aimlessly mine blocks for hours and hours on end, which meant I had to miss my mate's birthday. Sorry, Tom, but I've got hardcore Minecraft to grind out. Also, I just don't really give a shit. And build the most insane squid farm you have ever seen. But if you enjoy the video, please do give us a like and consider subscribing for more crazy hardcore Minecraft builds. And without further ado, let's get started. First things first, before we make any rookie mistakes, okay, I promise that's the last one. I can already feel the hate in the comments. We need a nice open space with a large enough riverbed. I ended up picking this place as it seemed peaceful and exploding with natural beauty and life. So naturally, we were gonna destroy this bitch. To begin, I had to figure out where I wanted the middle bit of the chessboard to be. So I did a mock-up dimension of the build over the water. This is because I wanted the squid farm to be the center of the build, and it also had to be within the riverbed location. Otherwise, the squid wouldn't spawn. We then spent the next couple of hours building the squid farm by using an online guide, but I ended up building a bigger version of the farm as I wanted a more efficient squid farm out of this build. Another important element of this part is getting rid of the surrounding water in the area, as we want to maximize the spawn rates of our squid in one specific location. We have now officially finished the squid farm. That took longer than expected, actually. We actually had to go and extend out the drainage of the river a bit further up, because we just weren't getting enough efficient spawns of the squid in this farm. But I think we have pretty much got it to near perfect spawn rates. We also went down below and kind of just sponged out a few water caves. But if we come down here, we've got like our little makeshift hole for the moment. You can kind of see there's stuff like spawning on here. I mean, it's not like fully efficient with just squid. You obviously got fish and stuff. I don't know why there's bone meal over there, but it is pretty decent spawn rates. I haven't checked it per hour yet because I haven't been AFKing a lot, but working around the farm and stuff and just doing bits and bobs, we have started to collect actually a few stacks already, which is quite good. So the main thing is that it's working, which is all good. But for now, what we're gonna do is we now have to figure out the foundation of the build itself. Obviously, we've got our 4 squares here, so now we kind of need to go out and start planning the actual foundation length. And then we're going to do the terraforming stage and kind of figure out how deep we want this chessboard to actually go. So to start the next stage, we had to create a massive crater. Now to do so, we need to create TNT duper flying machines, because I'm not mining all these blocks out for hours and hours on end. I do actually have a life outside this game. Okay, somewhat of a life outside of this game. But anyway, we built out the dimensions of the chessboard size and then built the TNT flying machines around this area so that it would create a massive crater below within the border dimensions. Right, we have just finished building the TNT flying machines. Basically got 5 of them each side. And now what we're going to do before we go ahead and set them all off, I just want to go ahead and just clear all the trees and flatten out the terrain a bit, just so that the ground blows up more evenly, so we have to do less terraforming for the actual base of the build. But yeah, this is pretty much it. We got 5 here, as you can see, each side, and then we've just left a gap in the middle for the actual farm itself. Yeah, like I said before, we're just gonna have to go in and manually clear this out with a beacon, but it shouldn't take that long. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and clear all these trees out. So we spent about an hour or so just clearing up the terrain and getting ready to set off the TNT dupers. All right, we are just about ready to set off these flying TNT machines. I think what we're going to do is just do each half of the section one at a time, just so that my PC doesn't set on fire. And also it just allows us to see if we are giving that much of a space for the farm section here, so we don't completely blow it up all at once. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now. So yeah, let's get to it. We set off the first batch of TNT flying machines so that we could finally start creating the crater down below. I actually made the mistake of leaving the middle section of dirt on the dimension border, so this actually ended up destroying the TNT flying machines, which meant I had to reset the whole thing and rebuild it all over again for 30 minutes straight. Love my life. But we finally had them all flying off successfully and were able to watch our destruction ensue on the land below. Some maintenance issues to deal with, like clearing up lava and water pools that would show up. Otherwise the TNT wouldn't actually explode properly when it landed on these specific areas. And once we had finished the first section of TNT duping, we had to basically do the entire thing again, as the crater line sections weren't deep enough for my liking. So we brought the flying machines down a couple levels so that we could further deepen the crater layers. Okay, we have finally finished with our TNT dupers, creating these massive crevasses of lanes for the actual foundation of the build. We just go around and take a look. Yeah, it's kind of just like a massive war zone at the moment. But now what we need to do is we're going to go to these sections here, these middle sections, and we're just going to mine them manually, just because I can't really be asked to, again, go up and reposition all the machines again. And it's kind of a bit of a hassle. And also, I kind of want to start mining just to get some more materials, especially with the stone, because it's going to be useful as we're going to use it in a future big build. So yeah, I'm going to need a lot of all of this stone. So now what we need to do is we have to go and get some beacons and then start the mining process. So we collected and built our beacons around the entire area so that we could start our mining process for each location. And I'm not going to lie, this was an extremely grindy portion of the build. So much so that I was actually going insane just aimlessly mining for hours and hours on end. So to help cure some of that insanity, I actually streamed the whole process live on my Twitch. So if you're ever wanting to see these builds happen in real time or a more in-depth look into the building process, feel free to follow the Twitch account linked below. We actually ended up mining so much stone that we hit our first 1 million stat in the game, which was from mining the stone block. God, I need a girlfriend. And as you can see, this crater has helped out massively getting us to this 1 millionth score. So as the zombie now comes over with an actual other stone block, we'll murder him. This is going to be the 1 millionth stone block that we have mined in our hardcore world. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Boom. And there she is. Huge milestone for us in my hardcore world. And I think the only way to do this is to properly display the stone block. So what I'm actually going to do is head back home real quick. Let's give our hefty boy its name. Here we go. Boom. There we go. 1 million. Woo! Okay, and then what we're gonna do is, I think we need like an iron frame and just like display it here, because this is kind of like our first ever big trophy as well. Boom, and there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Our first actual major trophy in this game. Yeah, reaching 1,000,000 blocks for 1 block mined. But this is our first major milestone, so super happy with that. Thank you all for the support so far that you've given me. Here's to the next achievement, so let's get to it. Okay, we have now officially finished clearing out the crater from all of that debris. And yeah, this is pretty much the result of it. It's pretty big, actually. And yeah, there's just one blaring issue that's at hand here. If we fly over to this dirt mound, this is actually what the height of the king piece of the chest set is going to be. And obviously, it's still actually quite tall, and it actually kind of just reaches the top of these bits here, which I don't really want. So I think what we're going to do now is maybe just go a few more layers deep with the actual floor itself, and then once we've completed that, we're then going to go ahead and smooth the actual chessboard itself down here, and then kind of fill in the dimensions with that. And then we can get to building the chess pieces. That's kind of my idea and plan with it. So we're just going to go ahead now and just clear more of the floor. And hopefully be done soon with it, and then we can actually start the chessboard build. We cleared up a few more layers of the crater so that our chess pieces could fit nicely into it and wouldn't poke out the top of the massive hole. We then began to build the actual chessboard itself. The two main materials that I used for each color was black and white concrete. No real surprise there. But getting the concrete made by placing it in water can be a tedious task sometimes, so we just built a simple concrete mining farm just so that we didn't spend ages on creating and then mining the concrete. Once we had filled our chests with the concrete materials and already had a huge chunk of ours already put into just the foundation of the build, we were finally ready to make a start on building our actual chessboard. Alrighty, everybody, we have just finished the actual chessboard flooring, and I mean, just like, look at it. It just looks so cool. I mean, the one issue with it is obviously we have like loads of mobs and stuff still spawning on it, so I think once we've done the chess pieces themselves, we're just going to go over and just replace it with like carpet, just so that we can limit the amount of mob spawns in the area and then maximize the spawns up there. I don't actually know if that's how it works, but in my head it does. So but I think, yeah, what we're going to do now is pretty much just start the actual process of building the chess pieces yourself. But yeah, I mean, this whole process has taken, you know, over a week or so just to get to this stage. So it was a grind, but I mean, if we just come up here and just look at it from above, it just looks so cool. So yeah, really pleased with how it looks. What we're now going to do is go ahead and build the white and black chess pieces. Now for this section, I did use a builder guide. So if you want a more in-depth guide on how to build these chess pieces, please go to the link in the description below, as they are seriously really beautiful builds and not overly complicated to achieve at all. We would run out of materials occasionally, but for each set of chess pieces, we used cheap materials such as diorite for the white pieces and polished blackstone for the black pieces. Right, after a long and grueling building session, we have now actually finished both sides of the chess pieces. I'm really loving how like each of these are so different, just given each of their colors, and they are such a perfect design. So shout out to the building tutorial videos I used. They will be down in the description below. But now what I want to do is take these beacons and surround the edges with them, because we're going to go for like a cool little beacon effect to kind of hide all of this junk that you can see surrounding it, because you know you've got all of like these ugly caves and just blocks just peeking out of the edges. Got a pig like just chilling over there. So my plan is to basically go along the edges with a beacon and then have them all the way throughout the border, and then we're going to play around with some of the color schemes. Gonna try black and white, see if that works first. If not, we can change them out for something else. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do now. And now obviously to get the beacons we need a wither star, and the only way that we can actually get that is by defeating the wither. So we need a load of wither skulls, which we have thankfully got a load of because we have basically just been collecting them since going to our XP farm just to mend all of our tools throughout the building process. So now the only longer process is just going to have to be killing the wither over and over again. So yeah, we're going to just speed run this segment just to kind of get it out the way because, yeah, we currently only have 17 nether stars, which unfortunately isn't enough for the amount of beacons that we need. So yeah, we're just going to have to go and kill the wither a load. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. This is now the second major grindy portion of the build, and that is getting all of these beacons. This was essentially a process of killing the wither over and over again while also mining some obsidian to craft the beacons. All right, let's kind of see how this is going to shape up. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of this layer here. Okay, so I think we'll have the iron go along like this, and then we'll have the beacons going all along. Why aren't they beaming? Filling this. Actually, let's see if it works. So hey, there we go. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Now, in theory, this should work if we just do all of this like that. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going for in a sense. And then what we do is we take our white and black stained glass. And then I think I kind of want to do a contrast with this color block that it's on. So we'll do that. So yeah, that kind of is how it will look. What do we think? Yeah, you can just see like the behind bit here, but I mean that's not the end of the world. We can always go in and just add like an extra layer behind if we need to. Again, I just streamed this on Twitch as it took me a couple days to get well over 500 beacons crafted for this portion of the build, but if I'm honest, I think this is probably one of the coolest effects I've done in my hardcore world, as it just looks so cool with all of the beacons lined up with the interchanging colors to match the chessboard theme. I do really think it complements the build overall very well. The only issue is that it lags like crazy with all of the beacons activated, so I'm probably going to have to turn them off when I'm not doing a showcase of the build. Coming to the final stages of the build, we just added in the black and white concrete walls behind to hide the messy terrain, and then also gave our squid farm a nice chest design, as I couldn't really think of anything else for a cube-like object to relate it to chess, so I just ended up adding the chess icons around the farm. And with that, we were finally done with our chessboard themed squid farm. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate all the love and support I've been getting with these hardcore videos in the past couple of weeks. If you're interested in seeing more of my hardcore content, please do consider subscribing and following the Twitch channel below. And with that, I'll see you all in the next one.